Guys, we are definitely live now, episode 2 of the Israel Innovation Podcast. I want to greet everyone. Wow, I'm glad I saw this button. Yes, so today is a very exciting day for me because we have Gil and Michal in the studio. Hello, guys. And yeah, this way we can see you best. And yeah, I'm not going to take anything away. I'm going to let you talk what you're going to present to us today.
Superfly is an app. It's a free app that everyone can use on iPhone currently, and it allows you to ask any question about any subject whatever, and you get an answer from somebody that knows the question that can answer and can help you. And it's all done in chat, so it's like basically we call it like in Israel, it's like Google meets WhatsApp because you can just search something and you start chatting with someone, and it's really magical once you do it. And there's a ton of technology, of course, that enables you to actually just ask a question and get connected to the right person. It's really, when people use it, they just don't understand how did you do this? It's incredible. She'll explain, of course, all the tiny details.
Okay, but it's not Google answering your questions.
No, that the whole idea is that real people, a real person on the other side is actually helping you, and we just allow you to just pinpoint and get straight to the person you need when you need them. So we're just the enablers, but then everything is just happening between you guys, the person that asked the question and the person that is now live answering him. So Gil said Google meets WhatsApp, or Google for people, because instead of searching and getting all these links and start going through them and reading them and looking for your answer, you just get straight to the person who knows the answer to your question, and you just talk to them directly.
Right. Well, I admit that I've been a user for a while and I have tried it out. And there's two things I want to talk about that. One, we'll talk about a little later, which is the user interface, which I really love. The whole user experience, the onboarding experience, the experience of using it. It's fun and it's so simple. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. What I wanted to say is that one thing for people to understand is that, as you said, there are not only real people answering your questions, but your system finds the right people who know the answers. Now, what I compare this to, because you said Google and WhatsApp, for me, my first impression was really that it's actually, for me, it's something that if you imagine that Quora and WhatsApp had a baby, that's what it is for me. Because in Quora, this is where I would go today to ask questions where I want an expert to answer me about this. And but it takes time. You put in a question, you have to wait, or you have to scroll through hundreds of ideas. And
but the time we'll just be reading answers that has been written a long time ago to someone else on that topic, and not something that is custom to you and live now for what you're looking for. So,
right, because information could be outdated if you have questions about a software or a system or things like that. Yeah. So that's what I love about it. It's really, I'm sorry, I just needed to say this because for me it's really kind of like Quora on steroids, like in real time, and that's what I love about it. Go ahead.
So you've heard it before. Actually, we love the term Quora on steroids as well, and we definitely understand, and it's true. But I think, in fact, when you see the product and you start using it, and the users that we see on the product are totally different than the experience you're seeing on Quora, not just in terms of the experience, but even in the topics people ask about and talk about, because the fact that it's live and it's real time makes it so much more practical. So people actually discuss more their day-to-day lives, their hobbies, that kind of stuff, and not just academic, business, research stuff that you see more in Quora. So at the end, it's totally different because it's in real time and real people now live. So it goes much more, it applies much more to the younger audience as well, but also just from the nature of it, the questions are totally different than what you usually see on Quora. For example, I just want to, I'm in a new city and I want to find a Chinese food here. So I wouldn't ask that on Quora, right? Because I don't know whenever I'll get the answer and if it'll be relevant, or a performance that is happening at this moment, and so on. So
no, but it's also it's kind of private, because even if you're not using an anonymous mode that we have, you're just asking, and the specific question just goes to a few specific people in the world. So it's not like on Quora, you ask a question, it's there 10 years later on, and they see all your dumb questions from a decade ago. You know, it's really different. It's more chat. Like, for the users see it as a chat app that connects you to other people to help you in all kinds of daily stuff.
Great. Okay. Well, let me give examples of what I think where I probably use this. So let's say I'm in the kitchen and I have one thing, I don't know how to cook it, and I'll just put it in, because if I knew that my mom could give me the answer, I might, you know, message her. But if I'm not sure, I message Superfly and I might get an immediate answer. And the other one about how you said it's like that it's private. So let's say I don't know, I put on a cream somewhere and I have a rash and I want to ask someone to help me with it. And it's, you know, maybe it's no doctor available at this hour.
With your boyfriend or your mom, and
yeah, it could be anything really, or yeah. So it's really great.
Definitely right. That's exactly that. And you said that you would call someone, like if you knew your mom knew the recipe, that you would call her. But that was exactly the idea, actually, because we said that not all people know all people for everything. And sometimes, even if you have the friend who actually knows the answer, you don't know that he knows. So that's the idea of just getting you to the right person when you need them, instead of you having to start thinking, who can I call to ask the question?
Yeah, you know, but our main audience, which we found out to be Gen Z, it's like the younger, it's not teens, older than teens, but, you know, 20s, older than these types of ages. So we see them using it in many ways, which are not just question and answer. I mean, someone just says, who wants to play Fortnite with me now? Or people look for tips for Animal Crossing now. It's one of the things that is coming up a lot. You know, and of course, naturally, coronavirus, when it started, we actually saw how it started. The questions from Europe came, you know, at first, and nothing coming from the States about coronavirus. Americans didn't know it existed, and then suddenly it changed. I mean, suddenly you see a surge of questions coming in from the US about it, and you know, so we see lots of things, including politics and stuff like that. You can see the trends. We sometimes even present those to like investors and stuff like that.
So how many users are on the platform? Because I'm sure there's a minimum to make this really useful. And how many users do you have? And then how do you route the questions in real time so fast?
So we launched the app on iOS. We're currently only on iOS, but soon to be on Android as well, we're hoping. We launched it on December 2018, and it's been growing rapidly. We're now at over 110,000 users, registered users, mostly from the US, but also a large portion from the UK. Mostly English-speaking countries as well, but the dominance is the US,
Australia,
and the UK,
the Netherlands, France. We have all countries too.
And I think, and you spoke quite right about that you need to have a minimum amount of people for this to work. But it was actually amazing to see that even at 15,000, we got to great results because of how the tech works. So now at 110,000 users, 97% of the questions are answered, and the median time to get the first answer is less than a minute. So it's really fast on everything, and typically you would get a few answers. So the average is 4.7 answers per question. So it's really working, but of course, as more users joining the app, it just becomes better and better, although it does have a nice coverage already. I think that's part of, again, the difference when you mentioned Quora. Quora and other forums and blogs work more on quantity, and for us it's more on quality, because we need obviously coverage of topics, but we just need to get to the right persons, and we don't just send it to lots and lots of users to see if someone is relevant.
Right. So so when the user signs up, he has to tell some interests that he knows about, or how does
So
that work? Because I don't remember. I signed up so long ago.
we actually tried to make everything really automatic. It was very important for us. You mentioned that the product is really simple and easy. And it was very important for us that it will just work in a smart way and won't require much registration or details. So you either log in with your Facebook account and then we automatically learn from your Facebook account, or soon you'll be able to also sign in with Apple or with your iPhone, and then we just ask you like basic stuff about your age and location, but all the rest we're just learning very fast with smart guessing from your questions, the questions that you ask and the questions that you answer. And like, because the way that our tech works, maybe I'll mention like a few words on how we actually do it. Okay, I'm still in the interview. So no, because I think what's unique here is because we try to cover all topics, we couldn't use the traditional approaches of natural language processing to actually understand human language. Because typically these approaches would pre-index the terms that people use to describe specific topics, but you can't pre-index the world if you want to cover every topic. So we had to take a totally different approach, which is what we've done, which is a lot more statistical and based on machine learning. And we actually started with no database. So the database was built from the users, and our system learns automatically from the users what are the topics that are related to one another. And that's also the way that we can do smart guessing in order to profile people. Because, like, like on Amazon, you have the people who bought that, or on eBay, you also looked at these stuff. So it's kind of a simplicity of what we're doing behind the scenes, actually guessing, because we know that typically people your age and from this location who likes this and this and ask about that also may want to answer other topics or ask about other topics. That's kind of simplicity of the way it works. We filed a patent for the tech as well, a utility patent in the US, and received a grant from the Israel Innovation Authority.
No, I've been I was surprised sometimes sometimes I get some questions. People, questions arrive to me, and they're very precise, like things that I know about or should know about. It's not 100%. Sometimes I get questions that I don't know, I'm not so interested in. But I guess it's also a thing of, I think you could say, like, if you ask a stupid question, you'll get a stupid answer.
Probably.
People log on the first time and they'll just put, please recommend a movie, and okay, that's fine. They will get actually, valid answers. But okay, so maybe that wasn't a stupid question, but it was a very general one, at least.
It was a good example, because we actually do the matching not only based on the semantic meaning of the question, but also who is the person that asked the question. So, for instance, if someone asks you about a recommendation for a movie, this will be sent not just to people who love movies, which is basically most of the people, but people that have similar taste to your own in terms of the movies they like, TVs, the other stuff, music they love, and also maybe their demographic, their age, their location. So it will try to also find people that are relevant to you in terms of their recommendations.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, the user experience, I'm really happy with it. Sometimes it's and I've used Quora, and sometimes on Quora you write like a researched answer, and you're very proud of yourself. I find myself doing the same on SUPERFY. I'm not really. I mean, you don't get a lot of I don't know, likes for it or things like that. So maybe there's something, some more incentive that could be installed there. I don't know.
Yeah. Actually, there is an incentive. I mean, the whole experience is very basic still, and we're going to enhance that really pretty in the coming months now. You have the ability to send a super like, which is a crazy animation. It's really nice. I hope you got a few, so
Yeah, I got some of those.
It's really nice with that nice, well-designed sound. in the background, and that means that somebody really liked what you wrote to them, like the chat, it helped them. So we're gonna step that up with levels that are coming soon. So if you get a lot of super likes, you'll be able to level up. We'll even have a map, the way you can level up. And also we'll introduce coins, which you'll be able to send to other users once you get the levels, and also all kinds of things you can get in the app itself with the coins, card, all kinds of things. Really, it's going to be really exciting. I can't reveal everything, but we have really, really nice and exciting plans.
Cool. I mean, of course, the number one thing is to get good answers, right? I mean, to your questions, because I think that's what makes it, either successful or not successful.
Yeah.
And I think you've proven that works, and you've been growing for.
Sorry, you said about because you mentioned like you need a recognition in order to actually answer people. So this will actually allow you to get some recognition on you're the expert on this topic. You've become the expert on this topic, and we see this feedback coming from users as well. They're already collecting their super likes and asking people, give me more super likes. So it's definitely something important, but also important to mention because you said that it's similar to Quora because you think you answered sometime on Quora. But what's interesting is that on Quora, the statistics show that most of the people read the content and only 1% of the users actually contribute content, actually answer other people or even ask questions. And on Superfly, it's so much higher.
Let him guess.
Guess. What's the percentage on Superfly?
Well, more than half, probably.
So on Superfly, actually 93% of the users are asking questions and 72% are answering, which is way more than 30 times the industry standard. It's crazy, and I think it's because what we spoke about, like you already see the incentive, and the incentive is the fact that you're getting very specific questions that are relevant to you and the things that you like and know. And also it's in chat, it's very personal. You get right away the recognition you spoke about because you just see the person on the other side and he's actually thanking you immediately. So you get this recognition.
It's really exciting. I mean, until someone uses it, they never get it. But it's really.
But that's actually an important point.
Sorry.
That's a very important point because you're actually helping people. And during your day, you're just like, and it feels good because you're actually making a difference for other people.
Yeah. And people like to show off and talk about the things that they know about and they like their hobbies, their stuff they're knowledgeable about.
Yeah, TV and movies are really, and gaming are really, really
strong.
Yeah, really strong, the system.
Yeah, I mean, I had really great help the other day. My kids, I had to buy them something on the Nintendo, like an extra pack for a game, and then it was downloaded to the wrong account, but then you don't know how to switch it. And I went through all these help forums of Nintendo, and it was impossible. And they just solved it for me like really quickly.
Nice. That's exactly the stuff that I think Superfly is best in, and
this is what it's built for. Like this is why we built Superfly.
Yeah, and I always say, and it's really true, that there's no other app like it. There's no other app that gives you the same experience of asking a simple question or a complex question, and then just getting into chat with someone that knows the answer. There's nowhere else you can do that. So that's what.
All right. Okay, I want to display a banner here telling everyone to download Superfly on the App Store and try it out because that's definitely worth it. Great. Anything else you want to tell us, or you want to? So you said you have 110,000 users. About user acquisition? What do you do for that?
Well, generally there are two ways. Some of them just come organically. We've got an Instagram account which is pretty active, and people just see it. And some YouTube stuff, all of those.
People share with one another, and we also have a very high rating on the App Store. We rated on the American App Store 4.6 from over more than 3,000, 4,000 ratings now. Yeah. So that also drives traffic from the App Store. But
we also do like crazy ads, which usually I produce. really crazy stuff.
But
Some of them are
that
really
work
crazy.
really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're trying to do different stuff, and it's working. It's working really, really nicely. Even like people from Facebook will sometimes ask me, what are you doing there? So yeah, it's working.
Great. Well, I want to recommend to all the viewers, if you have an iPhone, download this app because it's like a superpower in your pocket, and you should definitely have it. And it's also a lot of fun to use, even during the business day. So, Michal, Gil, thank you very much for coming on. I will share your links in the descriptions here, and I wish you lots of success for the future.
Yeah, thanks for having us, and good luck with
thanks for coming on
podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks.
Great.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.